Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Right now, I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for an energy update for everyone. Now, this is going to resonate for some people. For some people, it's not. For those that this resonates with, a few things might resonate. A lot of things might resonate. Whatever resonates, resonates. Whatever doesn't, just leave it. Okay. So I asked, well, first off, I woke up in an amazingly rested, wonderful mood. Amazingly rested, wonderful mood. And then I got this nudge of like, you need to get out of bed and do an energy update. Okay. Well, I asked the collective energies, what is this update about? Like, so I can put it in the title. And now I'm like, I have a lot of anxiety because I was told this is the hardest thing you'll ever have to do. I'm part of the collective. That probably means this applies to me as well. I'm nervous. I hope this is a pause. Well, you know, any circumstance, any situation can be a positive if you choose to see the positive that's in it. Okay. So anything can be a positive if we choose to see the positive that comes from it. Every single circumstance you will ever be in your entire life has both positive and negative attributes. And it just really depends. It just really depends on, how you want to interpret the events as they unfold. Okay. I'm ready. I'm just going to go ahead and get us more cards. How's everyone feeling today? Oh, you're in your darkest time ever. You know, dark night of the soul is the best opportunity you could ever have to understand the gravity of your light, even at a dim glow. That's the best opportunity. And I find that's oftentimes why we go through a dark night of the soul. All right. Here we go. I'm just getting more cards. So lots of energies are shifting. Lots of perceptions are shifting. I feel like there's been a flipping and flopping of the energies lately. Like people who were struggling heavily, quite a few of them are correcting their trajectory. They are experiencing more stabilization with energy, with thoughts, with all of that. And people who weren't struggling so much are now starting to struggle a little bit more. The emotions, whether you're going through something or not, the feeling is the emotions are getting much more intense. Those of us who are most sensitive are having these, like, I guess you could say, episodes where we suddenly get like super emotional out of nowhere. We don't really know where it's coming from. And it's very disconcerting for some people to experience that, because it's like, am I just going crazy? Am I feeling someone else? You know, for some of us, what? It's 48 degrees in the Bay. Those are death temperatures. Those are temperatures of death. In the Bay, anything under 50 degrees is certain death. Just saying. But the emotions are super duper intense. Super duper intense. And oftentimes we don't even really know where it's coming from. It's just like, what is this? Am I feeling someone else? And then we get in the topic of divine counterparts, karmic connections. And hold on, guys. This pull doesn't feel right, so I'm sticking it back in. But we get into that topic and we're like, well, what does this mean? I don't know. I don't know, maybe you're experiencing a karmic connection with someone, like a soul connection. Maybe you're experiencing just what the collective whole is feeling, because we are sensitizing. Okay, we're becoming much more sensitive as we release more and more layers of this phantom matrix. It's like when you are a little too aggressive exfoliating your skin, it feels a little raw, kind of like a sunburn. So it makes you much more sensitive. All right. And then this is the final deck that I'm going to use. So yeah, I guess we all have sunburns. Ooh, you know, we all might have sunburns because this solar energy is intensifying. Ever since that solar eclipse that happened on the 21st of December, actually, even before that, many of us experienced a heightening since the 12/12 portal. And with that 12/21 solar eclipse that occurred, pair that with a wolf moon lunar eclipse, and the moon is in Cancer. I don't even know what the hell any of this means. I'm just like, is that explaining the emotions? Because I really don't know where I'm at this point. I have no reason to feel any of this. My life is amazing. Like, I have no reason to feel any of this. None. All right, so let's see. Golly. Okay, this is interesting. Interesting. So, okay. Here's the thing. So there is a connection that is being felt, okay? This is a very intense connection that's being felt. It's for many of us, there's a need to turn away from that karmic connection, from that soul connection that's been occurring. Okay, this is probably one of the hardest things you're going to have to do. There's still connectivity within the consciousness, but I guess it's time to kind of just step away from it. Okay, it's been time, to be honest. It's been time to step away from it, from the subject matter, from the individual, from the struggles that come with it. That connection is absolutely experiencing a winter. Okay, it's winter time. The polar bear. It's winter time, and there's probably going to be an increasing sense of loss that you experience. If you're very sensitive to the other individual, you're probably going to experience a very intense sense of loss as this occurs, as you begin to take the steps to kind of move away from that. They're going to feel it, and you're probably going to feel what they feel, which is like, oh shit, I'm missing my opportunity to reconnect or whatever it is. And yeah, you're missing your opportunity. Okay. They have to be okay with that. You have to move away from this whole thing at this point. If this is resonating with you, no, you have to move away. You have to move away from it. There's going to be a lot of conflicting emotions, conflicting thoughts. Am I doing the right thing? Am I walking away too soon? What if they need my help for something? They're going to need to be grown-ass people and figure their lives out without you. Just like you're going to have to be a grown-ass person and continue to live without them. Even if it is just like you guys are best friends, and there was a little bit of a rift and you guys stopped talking, the focus is being completely shifted to a whole nother thing. Like, it's done. Whatever it is, it's done. And for some, it might not be done, but for the most, for most people, that whole thing is done. It's not necessarily going to stay done. For some, later on, it might be brought back to the forefront of your awareness. But as of right now, I'll say it. The twin thing is done. Bury it, mourn it, have a little ceremony for yourself, and walk away. Put some flowers on that grave and walk away. It's done. So card number 34, unconditional love. This is one of the most unconditional loving things you can do. To walk away not because you're pissed off, to walk away not because you didn't get the attention you were wanting or waiting for, but because it's just time. It's time to work on yourself. When you can love yourself unconditionally, that is the same as loving that counterpart unconditionally. Okay? Because walking away doesn't necessarily mean you're wishing them harm. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want them to suffer because you're not there. I mean, unless that's the kind of person you are, then that's the kind of person you are. You know, that's how you process, and fine. But this is not a call to be like that. This is a call to shift your attention back to yourself. Obviously, so many of you, well, so many of us, so many of you, and then my higher self says, you're part of the collective. This is an us portion of the journey. No, girl. So many of us have been really struggling with the whole concept, the whole topic, because there's so much put out in the generally accessed information that causes us to have such a skewed perception of exactly what a soul connection is. What is a twin? Oh, this is someone who's going to love me and want to be with me forever. No, it's not. It's someone who's going to trigger the kind of growth that you need that no one else can trigger. This is someone who has the capability of hurting you in ways no one else could possibly ever hurt you without even doing a damn thing. That's what the twin is. The twin is your shadow self existing outside of yourself. If you are the one that wants to continue to exist with simply like love and light, I'm all about that love and light, I'm all about that high vibe culture, then your twin is going to be your shadow aspect. If you're afraid of what's in your shadow, then your twin is your shadow. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. And let me tell you, if that is the case for you, your twin can hurt you in ways that no one else can hurt you without doing a damn thing, without anything romantic ever happening. Just by knowing they exist and their removal of their presence from your journey will cut you down past the bone, into the marrow, infect the marrow, and spread that around. Oh, shit. Because the shadow will no longer be contained or ignored. So now's the time for you to turn away from that aspect that was reflecting back to you what you didn't want to see within yourself, and actually address the things within yourself that are needing to be addressed. Let go of the identity of the shadow's presentation. That identity was always you. They were just nice enough to deliver the message. Okay? So release your fixation on the identity, on the human vessel that's containing the lessons that you are needing to work on right now. So card number 5, follow your own rhythm. This is you turning away from the spotlight, turning away from your own light to further explore the depths of your shadows, to explore the aspects of yourself that you've always been afraid of. What am I going to find there? What if I find out that I'm ... Well, what if that ... is you finding out that you're amazing? What if it's that? But you're never going to know so long as you're fixated on this identity, this individual that's outside of yourself. Hold on. Okay. I just realized I forgot to turn off the personal heater and I'm being cooked. Card number 24, Mermaid's Love. Ooh. Ooh. The mermaids. Oh my gosh. So one or both of you were lulled into complacency. One or both of you heard the song of the sirens and were willing to just die for the sound. That's not part of your plan. Where are you going? So it's time to turn off that song. Okay, turn off that song. You don't have to listen to it anymore. What you have to begin listening to is the sound of your own voice, not the song of the sirens. Now is not the time to be offering yourself up for sacrifice. And I tell you why. I tell you why. If you're not understanding what I'm saying because I'm not speaking bluntly. So card number 24. Mermaid's love. Many of you can't swim. Many of you can't swim in that depth. The mermaid is actually your higher self, okay? Your higher self is trying to bring you down to a depth you will freak out at. And you're trying to externalize this and put it on someone else. Put it on someone else, okay? And what's going on is, as you're trying to put this on someone else, like someone else is going to save me, someone else is going to do this for me, someone else, you're failing to realize that someone else that you're waiting for is fucking stranded in a tree. They have no idea about water either. So you're waiting for a savior that has no idea they're supposed to save you. Not only do they have no idea they're supposed to save you, they suck as a sailor. I mean, what kind of sailor gets a tree, a ship stuck in a tree? Exactly. Save yourself. Save yourself. Now's the time for you to recognize you are your own hero. You were never supposed to wait for something outside of yourself. That thing outside of yourself was supposed to trigger that cathartic process that would reignite your unconditional love for yourself. Notice this is one being. This is not a two-being project. This is one being. You were always supposed to have saved yourself. And it's, again, one being. Again, one being. So this is about you. This is about you saving yourself. For some of you, the act of saving yourself is recognizing the gravity of your angelic lineage. All of us, okay, let me just put it in simpler terms, okay? If people think that they are angelic and others aren't, you're mistaken. We all come from an angelic lineage. All of us have within our genetic code angelic coding. The human species is not organic to this earth. That's why they cannot find the missing link. We were created. We were hybridized with a terrestrial species. We have galactic and terrestrial coding. We have varying degrees of galactic and terrestrial coding ratios. But all of us have angelic code. All of us have reptilian code. So let's just get out of here with this whole like concept of I'm angelic, you're reptilian. No, all of us are, boo-boo. All of us are, okay? So here's the thing. You have existed in a gray state devoid of color, the color of creation, meaning you haven't really been truly feeling, living, existing. You've just been barely here, trying to survive, trying to pay bills, trying to figure out how to get out of this life with as minimal wounding as possible. It's time. It's really, really time to tap into your higher aspects of yourself. For some, this helped to retrigger this. Okay. It helped to retrigger a recognition of who you actually are inside. This was a part of the process. This is why it had to happen. This is why it had to be so painful. This is why there had to be a separation that really, really hurt you down to your core, regardless of whether something romantic happened or not. that separation, once you become aware that there is something outside of you that resonates at such a deep level, you will feel a sense of loss. You will. Unless you were able to maintain a friendship or a relationship, a romantic, you will feel a sense of loss, because that's a recognition of an aspect of home, capital H home, the sanctuary within your heart, because many of us, we've locked ourselves out of that sanctuary. And now, instead of recognizing that's just a representation, a taste of what love I have within myself for myself, but instead, no, we're like, fuck my heart. I want that one. I want that one. No, that's done. That's done. Walk away from it. Walk away from it. You've been given the keys to unlock the sanctuary within your own heart. Tap into yourself. It's all about unconditional love of the self. Okay. Leadership. This card came up, right? Leadership. If you're the only one, who are you leading? Yourself. You're leading yourself back to yourself. All right. So you have to fly high. Taking risks. The risk here is not recognizing that you are a glider, that this takes minimal effort. Have you ever seen a raptor, a bird of prey, flapping and flapping and flapping its wings? Maybe when it first starts to fly, but as soon as it gets itself stabilized, there's no effort. It glides. It just holds its wings out. So what's going on with humanity right now? We have forgotten that we come from gliders. We come from an angelic lineage that glides. There's no effort in that. You don't have to try. That's why you get so exhausted and so depleted, because you're using your wings in ways that it wasn't designed to be used. They were designed to glide, zero effort. But we've convinced ourselves who we are is not enough. And so we have to continue flapping like pigeons. You are not a pigeon. You are not a pigeon. You don't have to keep flapping. You have to extend your wings and fly. And the reason you have to keep flapping is because you've shrunk yourself so much. You keep everything so tight against you. You're afraid to spread it out, because what's going to happen if you spread everything out? What people are going to see? What are they going to see that they don't already see? Just because you don't want to acknowledge these things about yourself has zero correlation with what people can see about your truth. None. None. Zero. And I tell you, I know this because this is what I live. I don't want to see so much about myself, and people keep calling me out on stuff like, oh my gosh, you can do this. Oh my gosh. I'm like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? And I rack my brain like, what did I do to let that information out? What did I do? How do they know this? Well, because you can't hide the truth. People can see the truth of you, whether you admit it or not, whether you showcase it or not. People can see the truth of you. And tell me that's a lie. Tell me I'm mistaken. I know I'm not. I typically don't have to be right. I typically don't have to say, like, I'm right. In this instance, I'm 100% right. No matter what you think of yourself, people will see the truth of you. Even on the flip side of this, if you think people don't know that you're a liar, that you're a manipulator, you're so fucking mistaken. They see. They see. They see the lack of integrity just as easily as they see when someone is full of integrity. And just because they don't say anything doesn't mean they don't see. None of us are getting away with anything. None of us. You just like to convince yourself that you are. So that's the risk. That's the risk that we're taking. The risk that we're taking is people seeing the underbelly. When you look at a bird from above, bird's eye view, they tend to have darker feathers. to kind of camouflage, right? When you look at a bird from the ground up, they have lighter feathers to camouflage. But how is a bird going to camouflage when it's flying directly beneath the sun, beneath the light of the sun? You can't camouflage yourself if you are flying directly beneath the light of your truth. And that's the risk that you take. So many of us have such an intense greatness that we don't want others to see. Because what if we don't live up to this expectation other people have of ourselves? What if you're already what you fear you are? A greatness. And this whole process of ascension is simply your mental process of releasing the need to deny. What if? What if you're already that? What if you've already been succeeding at everything, but you've been passing it off as coincidence? Oh, it's not a big deal. Just what if? What if can work both ways, positive and negative. It's however you choose to perceive it. It's however you choose to receive the information that you're being given. So card number 22, Mother Earth. Ooh-wee. She is lifting up from the depths of her belly a sphere of truth. There's a lot of things going on the earth right now, a lot of shifting, a lot of releasing of pressure. And by the laws of reciprocal reflection, we reflect whatever occurs within and on Gaia. Just like she will reflect whatever occurs on her surface, she'll bring it down to her core and she will reflect it. Laws of reciprocal reflection. You see all these volcanoes going off. All these fires are occurring. What if that is an environmental symptomatic presentation of an internal energetic circumstance within each individual, every sentient being that is on this earth right now, regardless of the degree of your understanding and acceptance of your own process? This is occurring for all of us. All of us. Okay? All of us. And I'm going to be very honest. At the risk of sounding insensitive to what is going on in Australia, I don't believe those to be wildfires. I believe them to be intentionally lit. Just like the theater that we witness on the news every day, it is a military theater. They are lighting fires within our hearts to try and force us to participate in an official storyline. Just like volcanoes are erupting to release pressure, there is a building of pressure within each of us, a releasing of that rage, a rage that comes from our separation, from our birthright, from our knowing, from our right to access our state of gnosis. There's a lot of reflection going on. And if you really quiet yourself down and look, you'll see she is reflecting everything going on within each and every one of us. It's this sense, even with this, you know, even with this connection. Oh, we think we're separate, just like we think we are individual races. We're one species. Get out of here. We are one species. The differences in the subsets of this singular species is based on region. That the body, the vessel that's used, has specialized itself for the region that it occupies. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. There is no separation. None. We think we're separated by large bodies of water. Are you kidding me? You think there's no earth crust under that water? There's still earth crust. We're not separated. There's water on top of it, but we're not separated. It's just a perception. Card number 24, new birth guarded vigilantly. all of us are growing. We are all growing in such a haphazard way. Every single last one of us are wildflowers. Whether you realize this or not, you are indeed a wildflower growing at your own rate, in your own time, at your own detail. That all of that is determined by you. By you, you know. My concept of karma is very different. Karma is not punishment. Karma is nothing more than miasmic distortions, frozen light code, and it will be thawed once you are mentally and emotionally mature enough to handle the heat of that thawing. Karma is not punishment. It's not getting even with previous transgressions at all. So with all that smoke, it's a smoke screen, smoke and mirrors, all of that chaos that's trying to be peddled, that's going to be cleared away. And it's going to be cleared away with some really intense feeling. That red sphere right there, whenever I see this card, it reminds me of Mars energy. You know, Mars energy, a very in your face, kick down the door, here comes truth, dressed as SWAT. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. For those of us that are living in really deeply living in an illusion of our own creation, the blinders are about to be ripped off. The blinders are coming off. It's time for you to see. It's time for you to see the truth. You are not a lone tree on the Serengeti. There might be quite a bit of distance between the trees, but you're not the only tree that's there. And although that environment seems rather inhospitable, a harsh environment, the trees are well adapted to thrive in that environment. Just like you are well adapted to thrive in your life. If you think, well, my life is hard, that's why I don't thrive. Well, you're fucking adapted to that life. That's the only life you know. That's the only life you know. That's the only life you know how to manage. It's a choice of you managing it or not. And if you're going to keep comparing your life, your existence, the details of your journey to someone else's and trying to be someone else, then yeah, you're going to fail at it. Bottom line, you're going to fail at it. So long as you're trying to be someone else, trying to be more, trying to be less, that's not you, that's someone else. The moment you try and be yourself, there's no trying, you just are. You just are. You can't sustain the trying. You might be able to do it for some time, but eventually the truth of who and what you are rises to the surface. And when you try and run with the big dogs and you ain't a big dog, eventually it will be made known you a fucking yapping ass chihuahua. You a yapping ass chihuahua biting at everyone's feet because you can't keep up. And then you wonder why the whole group left you behind, because you're not part of that group. And you're going to have to be okay with that. Find a group of chihuahuas. Nothing's wrong with chihuahuas. Nothing. They aren't any less than any other dog. In fact, they actually tend to live longer and tend to be more intelligent than the bigger dogs. I'm a fucking chihuahua. I am a chihuahua. I'm going to live forever. Okay? I'm that chihuahua that just bites you. I don't even growl. I just fucking bite you. Put your hand near my mouth. Try and pet me. I will just bite you. There's no point in growling. I'm small. That uses up too much energy. So card number 35, walk your truth. See this? Truth, 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 truth. You have to walk your truth. You can't just speak it. You have to walk your truth. Truth in action is a life well lived. Truth in action is your authenticity. If you're just speaking of truths, regardless of whether it's your truth or not, you're a storyteller. You're not a truth giver. You're a storyteller. You're telling stories. These aren't your truths. It's nice of you to tell stories, but that's all you are, a storyteller. You're not some spiritual sage. You're a storyteller. Unless you've lived the truth of the spiritual theories that you're sharing, you just have elevated Googling ability. You're an avid reader. You're a wonderful storyteller. Okay? Start living those truths. Start living those truths, and you won't feel the need to defend what you're speaking about. Oh, you don't believe what I'm saying? That's fine, because I lived it. I know it's true. But if you're speaking of truths because it's something fascinating you read in a book and someone comes and tries to negate you, oh, no, so-and-so, let me quote someone. Okay, that's nice, but that's still storytelling. Is that your truth? Or is that a regurgitation of someone else's interpretation of a truth that may or may not be accurate based on the filters of their perception because of their life that they've lived? Do you know what kind of life that author has lived? KRS-One made such an amazing, amazing point. Until you know the history of the author of the work that you are reading, you have no idea of the validity of the words that were put on paper. Because some of the authors are very good storytellers. Very, very good storytellers. So how do you discern what's true and what's not? Easy, you live it. When you live through something, there's no question. I know this is true. People lately have been, oh, Archangel Michael is a fallen and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I've heard about all of that. I've read all about that. The guy that I talked to, that's not it. Because he's been around since I was in utero. None of that describes him. No way in hell I ever channel him. He never asks. He never gives me these huge words of wisdom to share with his children, humanity. Like, that's just silly to me. That's not a truth to me. Okay? So card number 4, against the grain. You are now swimming against the grain. Your truth is like the tongue of a kitty cat. Sometimes your truth will be used to smooth the feathers, to smooth the fur, to smooth something out. And sometimes it's your very truth that comes out of your mouth that causes the ruffling. Both are okay. That's what purpose you're serving. Both are okay. You're going through a transformation. Card number 26, transformation. This transformation, it begins within the heart space. It's a very high frequency. That's not, see, look, okay, she's wearing a red polka dot dress with pink dots. I don't know, I'm colorblind. I'm thinking this is red. Yeah, I think I have colorblind issues. I'm not joking. I think that's red and yellow. Okay. And that to me, it's like she's worried about her survival. That's tied to the root chakra. It's tied to the solar plexus. The pink, however, the magenta, that comes from a very high frequency. This is a major activation that's occurring. And it begins with a heart space. Notice her hair. Her hair is pulled back tight. It's braided. It even has a hairnet on. She's not letting any of her power escape. This is about creating a design for your life and not allowing any of your power to be shed. You got to let this go. You got to let this whole twin fixation go. The twin fixation needs to go. The individual needs to go. Maybe I'm speaking a little too much on that. They need to go. No, but seriously, that fixation, that unhealthy fixation needs to go. If you're meant to have a reconnection, you will. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You're whole on your own. You are absolutely whole on your own. And people think like, well, but that's my twin. That's my other half. No, it's not your other half. It's not your other half. They come from the same higher self. Okay? When you go high enough in level, it's the same higher self. But in this life, you are made whole. We are talking about this life, your journey through this life. It is exactly like identical twins. What makes the two of you and your connection different from your connection in any other aspect of your life is you share the same amniotic sac. You share one central core shielding for this life, but you are still two separate beings. So let's go ahead and finish shuffling. Take the battery out and put the entire thing in rice. Melba's trying to kill me. I'm allergic to rice. Put the entire thing in rice. Oh my God. Okay, I'm almost done shuffling, guys. Hold on. Micah goes, that's some angry shuffling. Hold on. All right. All right. Can you just don't talk to me right now? I'm trying to. Let me do this deck first, and then I will pull from the deck you're yapping about. Just in sign language, this means no. This also means shush your fush. Shush your fush. Okay. Brilliance. You have a brilliance within you. You absolutely have a brilliance within you. And it's time for you to stop hiding that behind layers, behind different ways of cloaking, behind or inside spheres of containment. It's like you're trying your hardest, for some of you, you're trying your hardest to contain certain aspects of yourself. Like, okay, my more aggressive type of energy must be contained. I can only use it for that type of group. My more gentle energy has to be contained and used. It's a compartmentalization of you and your energy, and all it's doing is fractionating you. This is what's helping to increase this feeling of missing pieces. This is not the piece that's missing. Okay. It's that you're compartmentalizing so much that now you don't know where the heck you put those pieces. And you're trying to fill those voids that you're becoming aware of with things that it shouldn't be filled with. I could have sworn I asked you to stop talking to me. Michael said, just like when I put things away, I put them somewhere safe. And when I do that, whatever I put away is gone. I don't know where I put it. Like my wedding ring, I put it somewhere safe. I don't know where that safe spot is. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. It's a gorgeous ring too. I can't wear it, so I put it somewhere safe. And now I don't know where it is. It's been, I think, 2 years. 2 years since I put it somewhere safe. Don't ever let me put you away. I'll put you somewhere safe. Nothing will ever be able to find you to steal you, but I probably won't find you ever again either. So time. You need time to come to terms with what it is you are hiding from yourself. All right? You need time to come to terms with it. Look at her face. That's how you got me feeling right now, Michael. I'm just that's how I'm feeling right now. Because he's still whispering stuff like, shush. This is about your inner child. This is about your inner goddess. This is about all the aspects of you. Gosh, love it. Love it. You have that wisdom in your hair because now you're letting your hair down. You're letting it be wild and free, just like you. It's much more efficient. The chaos oftentimes is much more efficient. There are those people, I am one of them. Where things can be very, very chaotic and they'll know exactly where everything is. But the moment you start tidying up and organizing everything, which I'm one of those too, where the hell did everything go? I don't know. I don't know, but everything's clean. Everything is very nicely organized. Bro, stop talking to me. Shit. I'm just, maybe he can't hear me. Maybe that's it. For real, stop talking to me. I don't want to hear it. I'm not talking about that. Because it's not a message for other people. You're just trying to fit in messages. I know what you're doing. You're trying to fit in messages for me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. For real. You're like a nagging wife. I mean, we ain't even married. I don't even believe in marriage, bro. You just keep nagging and nagging me. Like, whatever happened to sovereignty? You have me talk about sovereignty quite a bit. You're always encouraging me to encourage people to be sovereign. And this is a violation of sovereignty. The fact that I can still hear your ass is a violation of my audible sovereignty. I'm just saying. All you're doing is making me more rebellious because I'm not going to do what you ask me to do, whether it just be listening to you, so long as you keep violating my audible space. Well, you should have asked to be assigned to someone else. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You get annoyed with me and my process. You should have been asking to be transferred to someone else. I mean, not my fault. Gotta ask yourself, what did you do to be assigned me? I'm just saying. Maybe you did something bad. Maybe all these people talking about how you've fallen. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He's so mad at me at this point. He's so mad at me. I don't care. He should have stopped talking when I asked him to. We'll have this conversation off the live, bro. Okay, one more shuffle. One more shuffle. All right, let us see what this is about. You're an ass. Not you guys. You're an ass. I knew you were going to pull a card. You were going to make a card. You're an ass. Okay. The reason I'm saying he's an ass is because card number 40, stubbornness. Okay? So I'm stubborn. Deal with it. There was an article that was talking about children because he called me a spoiled child, that I'm behaving like a spoiled child and I'm so stubborn. I did come across an article recently with studies showing that children who are stubborn have a tendency to be more successful. Embrace my stubbornness, okay? And yes, I am a child of God. Don't make me tell my papa. Card number 34, solar consciousness. We are pulling in that solar consciousness, that solar energy, okay? This is the reason why we are burning, or how we are burning up all of that distortion, all of that ugly yuck that we've been participating in. It's all being burned up. This is part of the reason why we are experiencing upticks in levels of aggression, why we are being more not necessarily confrontational, but we're not as willing to just blindly accept things. Now we're questioning, now we're talking, now we're having real conversation of like, why? You need to explain to me why first. Well, this is what I read, so you need to explain to me why I should believe you versus you. And that's part of the solar consciousness, Card number 69, natural humility. It's okay for those of us who experience these moments where we're like, Well, I'm just, I'm not as developed as other people. I still have so far to go, and it's just been very difficult. I just, I don't feel like I have much to offer. It's okay. That's a part of your process. You're going to work through that. You don't always have to be all show, all go, okay? That's in the racing world. In the racing world, if you do drag racing, all show, all go means you have the whole car aesthetics, you have the interior done, the engine bay looks poppin', super cherry of a vehicle, and it's not just a good-looking vehicle, you're also all go. You can hit that track, do that quarter mile, in some record time. And that's what it is that we're trying to be all show and all go all the time, failing to realize that first off, aesthetics change. And as aesthetics change, you have to also change your vehicle, the look, the interior, all of that. If you're going to be all go all the time, you're going to blow your motor. Okay? You can't have that NOS port full blowing. You're literally gonna explode your motor. Okay, you're gonna blow shit up, which I've seen. But that's the thing, we fail to recognize the amount of work that goes into these vehicles, the amount of money, the investment of time, energy, and money into these vehicles in between the events. You have to make sure you're investing just as much in yourself. If you want to be all go, all show all the time, you're going to be investing quite a bit. And if you're not investing enough, that's fakery. Okay. So, card 104, leaving home. We mistakenly thought this was home. This is not home. Home is within yourself. Okay. Home is within yourself, and we're leaving this false home. It's no more. We're leaving it behind, okay? And that stubbornness is going to work for this. You probably have to allow yourself to raise to very intense levels of stubbornness to completely leave that false home behind. This is going to be the hardest thing you have to do. Hardest thing you've ever done. And many of you will have survival fears. Card number 30. Survival fears. You're going to wonder, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make it out of this? How am I going to continue to exist without them? You existed before them. You existed before you even knew the concept of twin flames. Why wouldn't you continue to exist? Just ask yourself that. Why wouldn't you? You existed before them. You'll continue to exist after them. Your existence was never contingent on their acceptance, on their presence. It never was. Now, they did affect your growth. Yes, they affected your growth. They affected the rate at which your consciousness expanded. They affected the process of acceptance of self. Yes, but your existence was never contingent on their presence or their acceptance or their love or lack thereof. So, what this is now encouraging us to do is card number 81. Learn to nurture yourself. Learn to love yourself. Learn to love your shadow aspects. Learn to love your inner child. Really love yourself. All this love that you're trying to give to this other individual, how about you give it to yourself? How about you give it to yourself? That will really heal you. And what if you're afraid to give this love to yourself because that will lead to healing and true healing, and you failed to realize that you have been identifying with your wounds for most of your life. And that's why you don't want to heal. That's why you don't want to focus on yourself. That's why you have to keep focusing on, but I have to save them from their karmic. But they belong with me. If they're married, if they're in a relationship, they're already with whoever they're supposed to be with. Does that mean they're going to be there forever? I don't know. I don't know. But they're already with who they're supposed to be with. And we really need, and it's not as common now as it was a few years ago. But I just have to say this. We have to stop thinking we are not with our twin because of their evil partner. Their evil partner is keeping them away. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. If they really wanted to be with you, they would be. If you really are a priority to them, there would be no questions. They would be watching this video beside you. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Why would you ever wait around for someone who doesn't make you a priority? As though you don't deserve to be a priority. Why? Why would you ever? And I think that's part of the reason why so many of us use that twin title to justify the poor treatment. Oh, it's because he's just not yet evolved. It's because he doesn't want to be around you right now. It hurts to hear it, but you know what? I love you enough to be really truthful with you. If he really wanted to be around you, if she really wanted to be around you, he or she would be. They would be. And whatever little blips that you get, um, like, oh, but I can feel him thinking of me. That's nice. That's cute. You can feel him thinking of you, yet he avoids you. What does that tell you? He doesn't want to be with you. Not in that way, not right now. So you have to move forward. You want to try and pine away for someone who doesn't have the courage to love you in your totality, to be present with you. So they hide themselves away from you. That's not a love that's worthy of you. It's just not. It really isn't. It really isn't. Okay. And this is not just me being tired of the whole twin topic. This is me finally allowing myself to speak the truth of it. If he really wanted to be with you, he would be. He would fight to stay with you. He would have never walked away. He would be there. He would be learning about himself with you. She would be there with you. She wouldn't leave your side. You wouldn't be wondering. You would know without a shadow of a doubt. You would just know. So, card number 26, logic and reason. You need to start using more logic and reason. That label that you are using, if you're using it, that label that you're using to justify the emotional and mental abuse and neglect, that's what it is. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Because if you were to remove that label, would you still take that kind of treatment from anyone else? If the answer is no, you're lying to yourself about this connection. You're allowing yourself to be abused and neglected. And you deserve more than that. You deserve way more than that. Way, 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 way more than that. And I love you enough to be very honest with you about it. Because I may be part of the spiritual industry, but I don't partake in this shit. Nope. Nope. My logic, you my twin, then you'll know I ain't gonna put up with that kind of bullshit. Play your fucking games, play it somewhere else. I'm not chasing after you, I'm not pining away for you. Leave me the fuck alone until you figure your shit out and are able to play in a way that is okay with me. Leave me the fuck alone. And if you really are my twin, you fucking know this shit about me. I'm not gonna play this game like other females would play. Nope. Nope. We got work to do. Your energetic ass is going to do that work with me. No questions asked. And I'm not going to need to call you either. You're going to fucking know because this is a part of your job. You made promises on a soul level. We still bound on that soul level. Whatever happens in this life, fuck it. Fuck it. We're not going to play this childish game. And if you're my true twin, you know this shit. You know this shit. So you can't be mad. You can't, oh, she let me walk away. No, you had your own little feet and your own little legs and you walked away. Be gone, Forrest. Be gone. Keep running. Keep running. Because in this life, I've come to understand through logic and reason, through the acceptance of truth, by walking my truth, I am in a process of transformation to initiate holographic healing. Just like that Selena song, Gotta Lose You to Love Me. And maybe that's what's going on, you guys. Maybe that's what this whole connection is about. You have to lose them to learn how to love you. Okay? You have to lose them to learn how to love you. And it's not that you have to be angry with them. It's not that you have to be like resentful, like, well, fuck you then, be gone. I got a little sassy when I was communicating the thoughts. But it's not like you have to be like that. It's that you have to understand you are on your own journey. This life is about healing you and your aspects, calling your fragments back to you and understanding you deserve everything that you deserve. And if you're going to set limitations on what it is you deserve, what it is you're worthy of, then that's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get. You don't have to be in a romantic relationship with your twin. You really, really don't. And I'm not trying to convince you not to be. I'm trying to help you to understand whatever excuse you're using to allow the ugly treatment of you, the treatment that makes you cry uncontrollably, the treatment that makes you feel so gutted. Stop. Walk away. Walk away. And maybe in that walking away, you're opening yourself to true healing. You're adjusting what you believe your identity to be. You're not the wound. You carry wounds, but you're not the wound. And I found when people identify with the wound, they think they are the wound, whether they acknowledge it or not, they will reject healing. Because the idea of healing, it's basically erasing them, erasing who they know themselves to be. So the first step is to walk away from that which continues to wound you, which continues to perpetuate your identification as a wound. And then begin the steps. Begin the steps that help you to reclaim your truth, your identity, your true identity. Okay? So I got to have a little conference with Michael. I got to get going. I got to get going. We're going to have a little conference. We're going to talk. I didn't like that you called me a child, a spoiled, stubborn child. I can't believe you spoke truth to me. I am spoiled and stubborn. Damn it. All right, guys. If you haven't already liked this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to my channel. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. Y'all know the frequency. Get some. Bye.